Hello, my name is Etholdir and welcome to a new video on this channel. And yeah, you might be wondering, who the hell are you? So I'll start out by explaining who I am and what this video will be about. So my name is Etholdir, I'm 20 years old and I've been doing YouTube videos for like 2 years now. And yes, so I introduced the idea to Chris of doing these guest appearances on each other's channel, and yeah, he thought it would be a good idea, so here I am making this appearance on his channel. And the game that I am playing is the Lord of the Rings Online, which is an MMORPG which is free to play, and I'm currently in the Rohan area, just the very start of that area. And yes, I'm just gonna be talking a bit about what this game is all about, what you can do with this game, and why I enjoy it so much. And maybe I'll be talking a little bit about my channel and what I do on there, but I'll mainly be focusing on the game itself. So yeah, hopefully you will be enjoying this channel. Of course, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you're done watching and you really like it, and of course subscribe to this channel to support Chris. And yes, so let's get into what is Lord of the Rings Online. Well, the name basically explains a bit. It is the MMO of the fabulous series The Lord of the Rings. And yes, if you've seen the movies, or better even if you've read the books, you will be familiar with the lore for this MMO, because it is set during the events of Frodo's adventure. So that is pretty awesome. You can have your own adventure, but you can also sometimes help out Frodo and the Fellowship. So it's really awesome combination of just questing for yourself, being your own the hero of your own adventure, and helping the Fellowship out whenever you meet them. So that's quite awesome. Currently you have up to Rohan to play in, Helm's Deep, and the second half of Rohan is coming out this month actually, so I think at least. So that's pretty awesome. After 6 years they're still updating this game every year, which I think proves to show that this game is quite successful in doing what it does. So if you are in any way a fan of the series, or you just want to check out a new MMO, I can really advise to try this out. It's not that hard. It is free to play up to level 30. You can do everything for free, and after that you can do the main story still for free in every region. And if you want to do the other quests of a region, you just have to buy that region with turban points, and the points you can also earn in game. So you could basically get everything without buying anything with real money. It only takes a little bit longer. So it's a pretty fair game. You can only speed things up a little bit with money, but other than that, nothing. Okay, so yes. Let's see what these do. Let's take these. So yeah, I'm just doing some quests here. But yeah, basically you can just play the entire game for free if you want to. It will only take you a little bit more time. Okay, well, let's just focus on some more questing for now. And yeah, let me tell a little bit more about the game. So when you start, you can pick any of the 4 races, so hobbits, dwarves, elves and men. You can all pick those and select your race. Only with dwarves you can only be male, which is kind of strange because of course there were female dwarves. But it doesn't really matter that much, and you have some awesome classes to pick from. There are only 2 classes which aren't free, which were part of the Moria expansion, but you can still get them in the shop. So but the other classes are all free. Some of them have race restrictions, so some classes are only for certain races, so that could influence your decision. But if you start playing, I would strongly advise you to just pick a class that seems fun to you, because then you will be able to level up easier. Because I've been trying a lot of different accounts and or I should say characters, and every time that I picked a class that I didn't really enjoy, I ended up not leveling it too far. This is one of my first characters, the Hunter class, which I leveled pretty far because it's now level 75, which is not the highest level, but for me it's pretty well done, because usually I don't stick to MMOs that long. And that proves to show that this game is really awesome, but that's just because I really like The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit as well, so it's only natural that I enjoy having my own adventure in that same world. So especially for any sort of Tolkien fan, this is a game for you. The graphics, the game is 6 years old, so keep that in mind when judging, but I think it still looks pretty cool. It's good enough to have fun in the game. Especially it's really easy to be playing on the highest settings just because it's an old game, but it doesn't look that ugly, so it's still pretty nice to see the landscapes. And certainly if you just go and explore different landscapes, you will still have beautiful sights to behold, so it's quite awesome. Yeah, so I'm just fighting my way up to my quests, so that I can show you a little bit of the combat. It might seem a little bit complicated at first, but that is because I'm already level 75, which means that I've got a lot of skills. Of course, when you start out the game you won't have as many skills, so it's a lot easier to get used to all your skills. You will know what they do, and it will be a lot easier to just basically get around without being confused like all the time. So yes, basically what kind of classes do you have in this game? Of course you've got the Hunter, which I am, which is basically a sort of range DPS class. Then you've got the Champion, which usually fights with dual weapons, but you can also fight with a two-handed sword or any two-handed weapon. And that is basically a DPS class, so it can really do a lot of damage really fast, and that's basically it. It wears heavy armor as opposed to Ranger, who wears medium armor, and it is a pretty fun class to play. So if you're in for doing a bit of damage, definitely a class for you. Then you've got Guardian, which is basically the tank of this game, so that means you can absorb a lot of damage and attract the attention of your enemies, so that your fellowship members might deal the damage to kill them. So especially if you combine a Guardian with a Ranger and a Champion, or either one of those, I think you'll have a pretty good duo to start with. Then you've got other classes like a Lore Master, which is basically someone that can summon animals, and I basically think he can buff and he can do some minor healing. Then you've got a Minstrel, which is basically someone who plays an instrument and uses spells to confuse, or at least to do debuffs or buffs. And of course he heals, so that's one of the healing classes, really a healing class. Then you've got a Captain, which is basically a bit of a support class. And what else do you have? Oh my god, I need to remember those. Okay, you have two classes that you have to pay for, which are the Warden and the Runekeeper. Runekeeper is a sort of mage which uses runes. You can either be in one fight, you can do damage, or you can heal, and depending on what kind of spells you use most in the fight will determine your alignment, and which will influence the amount of strength your spells have. And then the Warden is someone who uses yeah, close combat he uses a sword and a big shield or spear, and he can throw javelins, so it's a pretty fun class. It's a little bit more difficult than the other classes to play because it has a different system to it, but it is really an awesome class. And then you also have a burglar, which I just started out for the first time actually, so that is quite awesome. And oh, I can't loot it, I don't have any room anymore, so that means I have to sell my stuff. But yeah, it's a really awesome class. You can basically sneak around, just the general burglar stuff, which is quite fun to do. So far I've only leveled it a little bit, so that are the classes that you can expect in this game. And as for the questing, I don't think the questing is very boring, because I really enjoy the story. I really enjoy doing the quests because I want to proceed in the story. I think the story is really well written because it combines the known information with unknown and new things to keep it fresh, which I think is very, very important for this game. So yeah, then again, if you are interested in the game, just go ahead and download it since it's free. You can either go to lotro.com or install it by Steam, because it's also on Steam. So it's really easy to get it and just to play it and check it out for yourself. And maybe if you enjoy it, feel free to join me. My name is Etholdir in game, so you can just add me in game, and I will add you to the kinship if you like, so that you have some friends, or just you can make some friends and maybe you can find someone to play with, because that makes the game a lot more fun and a lot more easier as well. And yeah, the kinships are basically the guilds in this game, and then the fellowships are the parties. So kinship that lasts, and a fellowship is only for a certain amount of time while you're questing. So I think I'm gonna keep it at that. So I showed you a little bit of the game, showed you a little bit of the combat, I told you about the classes, I told you about the kinship and the fellowship. There's only one thing left to say, but to just go check it out if you're interested in this game. It is a really awesome game, so I can really strongly advise it to anyone interested in the Lord of the Rings. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do check out my channel. I do Minecraft Let's Builds on that, I do Lotro videos, and from time to time I check out other MMOs as well and do first impressions. At least that is what I used to do, the first impressions, and I am planning on bringing those back as often as I can, combining that with my study. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, this guest appearance, and maybe I will see some of you on my channel. Bye bye.